exciting episode of Cooking with the Kid. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show so far, and I'm real excited to continue our outdoor series. Don't know if you got a chance to try the ribs yet, but you really should try them now that we're getting ready to kick off summer really well. Well, phase 2 of the outdoor series will be the pork shoulder, or most call it the butt. Don't ask me why they call it the butt, simply because it's actually located in the shoulder of the pig as opposed to the butt. Who knows? But anyways, I'm real excited to go. We're going to be using a 3-step process with this as well. Typically for me, it's roughly anywhere between 72 to 48 hours just to prep the meat before we even start smoking the meat. So right away we'll jump into it and give you the ingredients that we'll be using in this episode.
So here are the ingredients we're going to be using today. Right here I have about an 8-pound pork shoulder, fresh garlic, salt, crushed red pepper. Got to make sure you see that. Crushed red pepper. 32 ounces of pineapple juice, as well as 2 quarts of just plain water. What I like to do for step 1 is an actual brine of the pork shoulder. So what we'll be doing now is putting the brine together and allowing for you guys to see exactly what I do with it. So the brine I use is pretty simple, and I'm going to walk you guys through it. What I go ahead and do is pour that 2 quarts of water right into my brine bucket. Now mind you guys, make sure that you have a really clean bucket that's dedicated strictly to this. That's what I do. And then you take about 4 tablespoons of really nice rock salt. About 4 tablespoons. I'm going to go ahead and add 4 really nice size pieces of crushed garlic. Throw those right into the mix there. And here's where that red pepper comes into play. I'm going to use about a tablespoon of crushed red pepper. Throw that in there. And last but not least, I'm going to add that pineapple juice you saw. That real quick. And guys, now what you want to do is make sure you mix this up really, really good. Now that we've got that mixed up really good, then go ahead and add our pork shoulder right into the bucket. Now it may not cover the meat completely, but as you can see, some of the meat is actually sticking out just a tad bit. Then last but not least, I wanted to save this to last, is what we're going to do is cover the rest of the meat with ice, because what the ice will do is add a little bit more water as it melts. Also, it's going to keep the meat nice and cool. And guys, what you're going to want to do from here is stick it in a nice dry place for about 12 to 14 hours. I wanted to make sure that I showed you guys how I covered that with ice. And like I said, over the next 12 to 14 hours, if it's in a nice, cool, dry place, that ice will start to melt while keeping your meat just long enough. So we'll see you in about 12 to 14 hours. So we're right at that 14-hour mark. And as you can see, most of that ice has started to melt. And what we're going to do now is drain all that water off, take our pork shoulder out, and we're going to dry it off and move on to phase 2. Now we're going to move on to phase 2. As you can see, I pulled out a couple of paper towels, patted that shoulder really good, got it nice and dry. For phase 2, what we're going to be doing here is going to coat it with mustard. I like Dijon mustard. Light coat, then coat it
a second time with your favorite rub. I make my own. Like I said, go out to Pinterest. There's a ton, hundreds and hundreds of different rubs that you can do. You can just go to your local grocery store, pick up one of those pre-made rubs, but we'll be using that to rub a second coat onto the shoulder. Then the last step in this process will be injecting the shoulder. We're going to be injecting the shoulder with just plain apple juice. You can see my injector here. Plain apple juice. Get it nice and infiltrated with the apple juice. And then last of this phase is we're going to wrap it nice and tight. Again, I like a vacuum sealer. You can always use Saran wrap. Get it nice and tight for the end of phase 2. Then we'll be right back with that. So we left our shoulder in overnight, and what we're going to do now is I've pulled it out and let it sit to room temperature. And what I'm going to do is just going to go ahead and open it up here. And you will definitely have some juices flow out. Once this bad boy is opened, what we'll do is hit it up one more time with your favorite rub. Okay, because we want to make sure that we get that bark that you're looking for. The key thing is to make sure you get all sides, and once you've got all sides, what we'll do is go ahead and put it on the smoker and we'll get it going. Again, guys, we'll be using the Camp Chef smoker. I gotta tell you, if you haven't got a chance to play with one of these things or even take a closer look, if you want nice results just about all the time, I definitely recommend you looking into investing in one of these bad boys. They're really great. I've already put my pellets into the hopper, and because we are doing a pork shoulder in this episode, I filled it with apple chunks, so apple pellets I should say, not chunks but pellets. But we're going to get this bad boy started, get it heated up to 225 degrees, and we'll put our pork shoulder on there and we'll go from there. So we just reached that 4-hour mark, and the meat is starting to get higher and higher in temperature. Now, mind you, your target is typically around the 199 to 200 mark. Me personally, I take mine off right around the 194, and I'll tell you why in a little bit later in the episode. But at this particular point, what I like to do is every hour from here to finish, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this bad boy with apple juice. Just plain apple juice, give it a bath, and every hour make sure we repeat that process. What that's going to actually do for us is going to keep that moisture inside and keep that flavor that we're looking for. So we've been going strong now for finally about 10 hours or so, and this bad boy is just at that 192 mark. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it off. I'm going to wrap it really good in a couple of sheets of aluminum foil. Once I wrap it real nice and tight in aluminum foil, I've got this cooler that I'm going to use. I'm going to take it, place it in the cooler, then I'm going to put this towel right over the top of it, close up the cooler, and it'll continue to cook and slowly get to right around that 200 mark. And we'll see some nice pulled pork. So we've allowed this bad boy to rest. So now what we're going to do is see if we can take a look at the finished product. You can see the juices actually come off of the foil. I'm going to go ahead and open this bad boy up. And let you see finished product. Nice and juicy. Look at that. And this meat just pulls right off. That's pulled pork. shoulder, 3 steps, and we got nice, moist pulled pork. Look at that. Follow these steps, and you too will have an awesome barbecue. Until next time.